morning, everybody. I am marketing and sales in AnalyticsCreator for 2 months now. I am more than happy to see you all here, and I do hope that after this training you will have a lot of questions for us, and that we are going to see each other so many times in order to become good friends. So Peter, you can proceed. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Biljana. My name is Peter Smoli. I'm the CEO of AnalyticsCreator, and I say welcome to you to our presentation, our live demo and training too, data automation for beginners, to automate data warehouses, data marts, Power BI, and also data lakes. So what's about AnalyticsCreator? AnalyticsCreator, explained in a nutshell, it's a data warehouse automation technology, which is special made for developers, for experts, and it's also developed for non-experts. And it's working on a special way to generating source code instead of programming manually. So AnalyticsCreator covers the full life cycle of a data warehouse, of a data mart, and also data lakes. This means that AnalyticsCreator is doing you can do the design process, the development process, the maintenance change process, and also the deployment. AnalyticsCreator replaces old-fashioned ETL technologies, and it's up to 10 times faster and less costs. First of all, I want to share with you some testimonials, some success stories from customers. This is a huge one. Bosch, maybe a lot of you know Bosch. I think 600,000 employees, very huge all over the world. AnalyticsCreator is there, I think, on place around 4 years, yes, and we have done there a very nice project, which saved 80% time and costs in data warehousing and the Power BI environment, especially in the area ID controlling. Yeah, this was not difficult to measure because 1 year before, a consultancy have done this project, and it takes 2 people 1 year, and our part was to add snapshot historization, and we decided to do everything new by generating the source code new with AnalyticsCreator, and we were done after 2.5 months. Yeah, it's really crazy number. So Bosch is very satisfied, and we are also very happy, of course. Yeah, the next one, my muesli. My muesli is in the food sector, a small company, about just 1,000 employees, and they have not really a big idea about data warehousing. They have, of course, some cubes in place, but they have not real data warehouse. And the management decided to grow up a data warehouse. So what they have done, they have take decision for AnalyticsCreator, and they employed a new guy from the university, very fresh. Yeah, not really great idea about data warehousing, just a little bit. And he used AnalyticsCreator to learn how to do data warehousing and business intelligence. So of course the project takes longer. Of course, he's not an expert, and we have done there just the first project, the first part of the project. It's the sales controlling, and we helped them only 4 days, I think. We just do training there 4 days, and everything. They have done everything in the last year by themselves. They grow up a big data warehouse in all branches, in controlling, in sales, in purchasing, and all over. And yeah, it's working really smoothly. So the next one is also a huge one. We cannot tell you the customer name. They have many SAP systems around, and for several companies. And the target was to create an ingest layer in Microsoft Azure out from the SAP, and the team there told us that they were 20 times faster. This is really crazy. We can't believe it by ourselves. So what we have done is we decided to do a live demo workshop, exactly the same what they have done, and it's real. Yeah, it's 20 times faster. And you can show this video. It's in our YouTube channel, and you will see what we have done there. The video name is 20 times faster, creating a data warehouse, something like this. You will find it. What about the use cases? There are most common use cases around. Of course, if there is no data warehouse in place, greenfield, it's the easiest way to build up a data warehouse. It's very fast, and you don't have to look in the past what's done there. Yeah, this is a very common thing. The next one is, of course, many companies around have something in place. Yeah, they have a data warehouse or some data structure which they use for analytics. And I think this is more than 50%. The customers use this approach. With AnalyticsCreator, you can do this. You can migrate to a modern architecture. You can use data vault. You can skip to data vault, or you can use the dimensional approach with Kimball, and also a mixed one. This is a special solution from AnalyticsCreator. And there is also something like reverse engineering. It's not full automated, but it's possible to use the code, the SQL code, to migrate it to AnalyticsCreator. It's not real automated, but I would say half automated. Yeah, this was a nice thing. Very many customer of us has a SAP system. We have a very, very good connection to SAP source data. We are using the Theobald connector, and then also we have our own connector. Our own connector is just only for extracting metadata out of SAP. But when the data will be loaded every day, you need the Theobald connector, of course. And also there are many examples in SAP in the demo and trial version environment. You can use, I think, 20 modules of SAP. They are already extracted, the metadata, and you can play with it. Very common is also to shift to the Azure cloud. So if you have already a data warehouse and you want to shift it, there are some functionalities which help you to do this. More and more customers want to have a new real-time platform. We also support this, especially the nice solution with Dynamics 365. It's really working very smoothly. Another thing is AnalyticsCreator for solution partners, reselling partners. It's possible to use AnalyticsCreator to manage a service environment for several customers. So if you have one product and you need a solution, a business intelligence solution for many customers, you can also handle this with AnalyticsCreator and deploy it to many customers. This is a nice survey from Analyst, the Gartner, not Gartner Analyst, but the Bark Analyst is similar to Gartner. We also listed at Gartner, of course, but the Bark Analyst saying that we are the leader in data management, in data warehouse management, and we ranked there in 6 places, very on the top. And you can see this on this graphic on the right corner. There is AnalyticsCreator. There's also SAP. You're very surprised why SAP is there. We don't know. They have no data warehouse automation technology, but they are there. So you can download the data management survey 2022 from this PowerPoint. We can send it to you, or you can download it also from our website. So what's about our vision? It's very important for us that we give to our customer a technology which makes them independent. What does it mean? AnalyticsCreator is a pure design time tool. So it is not necessary to have any runtime component. So when you generate the source code, it runs on the Microsoft SQL, so in the Azure environment, without a need of AnalyticsCreator. So you can delete AnalyticsCreator and everything is working smoothly. This is a really nice feature. And also we transfer the copyrights of the generated source code with the conditions to our customers and our partners. So you can do whatever you want. There are some competitors around. They don't do this. They don't allow you to use the source code, the generated source code, after subscription ends, and I think this is a very dangerous thing. So we are very open in this and give you all rights of that. Also, we have a holistic metadata model for your business model and for your data model, and yeah, this helps you better understanding for all what you do, what you plan, and you can generate out of that the source code, and it doesn't matter from which Microsoft target technology you use. So you have one business model, and if you want to use the outcome in Microsoft SQL Server on-premise, or you want to use it in Azure, or you want to use it later in Synapse, this is all possible with the same model. As you can imagine, we are focused 100% in the Microsoft stack. We concentrate us 100% there. We're doing nothing else. So we can say this, that the outcome is very good. This is what some customers are telling us. They looked to some different competitors, and they said that our source code, which we are generating, is really very fast and nice modeled and really nice done. Yeah, and we have an open repository. Everything what we do, the metadata for our modeling is stored in a repository in a Microsoft SQL server. You can use it. You can also develop there. You don't need to use the graphical user interface. Of course, it's comfortable, but some use it different, and you can set up also your own add-ons if you want to extend this code. You want to read it out and do something else. We have, for example, a partner who is doing a generator for MariaDB database. It's also working very fine. So, here you have an overview, architecture overview, what AnalyticsCreator is doing. We are collecting data from the sources. We build a storage layer where you can create data vault models, Kimball models, and hybrid or mixed models. We grow up a core layer, a data mart layer, and after that you are able to create the analytics cubes, the OLAP cubes, the old ones, and also tabular cubes. And after that, it's possible, or directly it's possible, to generate models for Power BI, for Tableau, for Qlik, and also for Cognos, Excel, and so on. Yeah, that's a short overview. And last but not least, I just show you this picture. After that, my colleagues start with the live presentation. Yeah, this is our 5-step approach. First of all, you connect on the source, on your source data. There are many possibilities. We have built-in functionalities to connect to your data, and also it's possible to use third-party technologies. So then you have hundreds of different possibilities. There's no problem to connect anywhere. Second, you have to declare the data. So we are pulling the metadata information out of the databases, or also we try to recognize for Excel files or something different to create, we call it metadata connector. And with this metadata connector, the AnalyticsCreator is able to generate automatically a draft data warehouse in the third step. Yeah, so AnalyticsCreator wizard analyze the metadata and suggest you a draft model, depending on your properties, which you have done and decided what you want to have. And after that, the most work has to be done in the fourth step. You add your measures, your dimensions, your additional scripting, or whatever you want. And if everything is done here, you deploy it. You deploy it in a DAC file, this special format from Microsoft, and you can send it to Azure, to SQL Server, to several targets. Also parallel the Click models, the Power BI models, and Tableau models all would be generated automatically. Yeah, this is our 5-step approach. So now I want to give the token to Dimitri. Dimitri is our CTO. He's the main developer and the brain of AnalyticsCreator, and he show you now how it works.
Yes, hello everybody. Let me share my screen and I will present you how you can create a new data warehouse using AnalyticsCreator. I hope you can see my screen. Can you confirm, please, Peter?
Yes, now I see.
Then let's start AnalyticsCreator. Well, and first I will create the new repositories or new data warehouse projects. Okay. New, and I don't know, GMO, TWH. And now AnalyticsCreator is preparing the new repository. This is a database, SQL Server database containing all information about the data warehouse, which we'll create. This repository is open. You have full access to this database, and you can analyze the data in this repository or modify some of our customers. For example, if you migrate existing data warehouse to AnalyticsCreator, you can fill up the repository with your metadata and speed up the migration to AnalyticsCreator. Okay, repository is almost complete. But repository is empty now. And now I will add connector to my data source. I will use AdventureWorks database of Microsoft located on my SQL Server and use it to create a new data warehouse. Now I add the new connector, and we support different kind of sources. Here you can see them. The different databases like SQL Server, Oracle, Auditable or RTBC data sources. flat files, Excel, Access. Okay, we can read the data directly from SIP, the metadata, sorry, from SIP. We support Azure blob storage and different blob storage file format like sect files, Avro or Parquet. But in our case, we will use a SQL Server as data source. And here we should define the connection string to our database, AdventureWorks database. And let me check. I think this is a 2012. I would check a moment. Okay. I think this is 2012. I'm not sure. I can test connection. Okay, sorry. The wrong database name. Says it. Maybe 2016. Sorry, I forgot the name of AdventureWorks database. Oops. One moment, please. SQL Server Management Studio is starting, and then I can see the name of the database. Of course, sure. Sorry, the name of the server is wrong. One moment. Yes, it's 20. Sorry. Okay, now I created the connection to the new database. Wait a moment, I should compose different SQL Server Management Studios, which I started in the background. Okay. Exactly, AdventureWorks 2012. Okay, AdventureWorks 2012. So, 2016 we have two. Okay, sorry. Okay, 2016. Okay, now I created the new connector, and I will start data warehouse wizard. Using this wizard, I can very briefly create the draft version of the data warehouse. And here we can see the list of the objects located in the AdventureWorks database. I will take some tables from the human resources schema. Very well. Exactly. And I will import every table, I will historicize every table, I will create dimensions from every table. And there are some tables which I will use to create the effect transformations. Okay, on the next screen, we can decide about the names of the objects in our data warehouse. For example, every dimension will have the prefix team in the front, effect transformation will have prefix fact, and so on. Okay, and here we can manage some additional properties, but let's click on finish. And now the wizard will analyzing the metadata of our AdventureWorks database and trying to create the first draft version of our data warehouse from scratch. And very good. AnalyticsCreator has done this work. And here you can see the typical layer diagram of the data warehouse from the left to the right. First, this is our source layer, the sources which we use to in our data warehouse, the tables from AdventureWorks database. Then the staging layer, where we import the data from the sources every night, for example, when we start the ETL process, the data from sources will be imported into the tables on the staging layer. we can see here the configuration of the import. Okay, it is nothing specific. We can see the mapping between the source and target fields here. Well, we can additionally define different filters, for example, to the data import. Using filters, we can create the differential data loading. Well, but nothing specific. Okay, we can define some additional scripts which will be started prior or after data import. We can manage some properties for the integration service packages which we generate, but import is import. We only have to import the data from source into the data warehouse. Then persistent staging layer. Now, usually every data warehouse has this such persisting staging layer. It's not unnecessary. It's not necessary, but we suggest to create such persistent staging layer containing historicized data. After the data will be imported, the content of the imported data, will be compared with the data stored in persistent staging layer. Differences will be detected, and the differences will be stored in persistent staging layer in historization tables, but the previous versions of the data will be not deleted, but they remain in the data warehouse, and we always have access to the old versions of our data. And this is a very nice feature. Using such historized data, you will have access to the previous versions of your data, and this is like additional timeline of your data. Okay, we have you can very widely configure the historization using AnalyticsCreator. Here is the configuration of historization packages, and for example, here for every field you can decide how you will historize a specific field. There are 3 different kinds of historization. Full historize means when the changes are detected, the old version of this field will be stored in the historized table, and the new version. Okay, this is the full historization. We can always access to the previous values of this field. CD1 or slow changing dimension 1 equal only means the history of the changes will be not stored, but when the field was changed, the data will be changed in the historization table too, but no history of the changes will be stored. And none means the changes in this field are uninteresting for us, and if only this field will be changed in the imported table, no changes will be done in historized table. Okay, there's a lot of other settings. For example, what you will do in case the source data are missing. You can close your historization data. You can add empty record. Very well, you can define different filters. You can define different calculated columns, for example, to calculate the differences between old and new versions of your data, and so on. And how the historization is working. AnalyticsCreator generates storage procedures based on this definition. You can see the storage procedures, the text of the storage procedure generated by AnalyticsCreator, and you can even modify the storage procedure if this text is suitable for you, or if you will add something additional. You can say manually created, and you can change the text of the storage procedure. You can execute different scripts before and after historization, okay, and so on. as I said, our historization is very powerful. You can configure a lot of parameter for your historization and historize your data very very good. Then we have the core layer. In the core layer, usually we convert the relational data into the facts and dimensions, because the data which we import from our data, from our sources, usually have it's a very complex structure and different references, relations, and so on. And to simplify the using of your data for your reports, usually you should convert your data into the facts and dimensions. This is the typical Kimball approach, and then the facts and dimensions can be used for your reporting very easy. And core layer usually will be used to convert the data into the facts and dimensions. For such conversions, you will use the transformations, and this blue square, this is a transformation in AnalyticsCreator, and we support different kind of transformations. The usual transformation in AnalyticsCreator, this is a view. In this case, this is a regular transformation, and view text will be created by AnalyticsCreator. Analytics creates the view for us. This is a view created by AnalyticsCreator based on this definition. In this case, this is a pretty simple transformation. We get only one table, STG department, from the persistent staging layer, and expose every field from this table in our view. You see it here. This is a list of the fields in this department table. And additionally, what is interesting here, the predefined transformations. For example, let me delete every predefined transformation. And without predefined transformation, you can see there is every field will be exposed by the view as is, without any change. But let me add, for example, trim transformation. And if we take a look on our view, we can see that every string or varchar or nvarchar field will be modified. Leading and trailing spaces will be deleted using this rtrim ltrim functions of SQL Server. Okay, let me add some more. For example, string null to NA will convert the null values of the strings into n.a.string, and so on. Predefined transformations. This is the transformations which will be applied to every field in the transformation based on the field type. And this is very simple but very powerful mechanism to briefly create the transformations, to modify the data based on their data type. Okay, let's take a look on one more transformation. For example, this one, employee department history. Let me set the filter. If I set the filter in AnalyticsCreator, I will see only the objects related to the filtered object. And employee department history, this is our fact transformation. Our fact transformation, AnalyticsCreator find that employee department history table is related to three other tables: department, employee, shift. Employee department history contains information about which department a specific employee worked in the past. And here we can AnalyticsCreator create for us the fact transformation, combining the data from 4 different tables. From every table, we expose only the surrogate keys every table is a historized table, and historized table has such surrogate keys. Interesting is now how AnalyticsCreator combines the data from historized tables. Let's take a look on the view created by AnalyticsCreator. To understand, every table here is historized table. Historized tables can have several data rows or one primary key. That means in case the data were changed, the new data rows will be added to historized table. Therefore, for one specific primary key, there can be several data rows, several versions of the data. And to combine the data to join the historized table, we usually use the snapshot historization. There is one additional table called snapshot. This table contains at least one data row with the actual date. This table contains the dates, the snapshot dates. And then every historized table which we join has such a join condition, snapshot date between date from and date to. Using this where condition, we load from every historized table only the data which were actual for specific snapshot date, and then we join the tables together using business keys and business relations. And for example, if our snapshot table contains only the actual date, our fact transformation will expose only the actual data, and you have access to the actual data in the data warehouse. But you can extend the snapshot table by more snapshots, but for example, end of the last month and the I don't know, 2 months ago, 3 months ago, and so on. You can add different snapshot dates, and then you will have access to the versions of your data for these specific snapshot dates. This is a very interesting and powerful mechanism how to work with the old data, with the previous versions of the data. And snapshot will be exposed by AnalyticsCreator's the snapshot dimension, and later in your OLAP cubes, for example, you can select the different snapshots and then you will see the old versions of your data for this specific snapshot date. Okay, this is the typical fact transformation, factless fact transformation, because we have here only IDs from our dimensions or from our historization tables, and they will be combined together in this fact transformation. One more dimension I will add here. This is a calendar dimension. AnalyticsCreator created for us calendar dimensions. Let me show it to you. Remove filter. Okay, this is this one, Team Calendar. We can take a look on it. This is just the view which provide us with calendar data, and now I will use this calendar dimension in my fact transformation. In my fact transformation, for example, in the table employee department history, I have in the column, for example, start date. Start date is this date when the specific employer started to work in specific department. Okay, but I will have here, instead of the date, ID from calendar dimension based on this start date. And to I should convert this date into ID. And to do that, I will use calendar macro. I can click here on add calendar macro, and macro, this is one more AnalyticsCreator specific tool, the macros. Okay, let me show you what is the macro. I use here the macro date to ID, and as a parameter, I used start date from Analytics from employee department history table. Macro, let me show you date to ID macro. Macros is nothing more than a statement in our case, this is transactor score statement, but we support different statements and different languages. And where some parts were replaced by placeholders. This $1, this is a placeholder, and then later when we call date2id, this $1 will be replaced by the first parameter of the macro. What we have here, the $2, it will be replaced by the second parameter, and so on. And you can see this is just a SQL statement which will convert the date into a different calendar dimension. It calculates a difference in days between year 1980, 1st January, and the actual day and the date. And let's take a look on our employee department history transformation. The wrong one, this fact employee department history. I used this macro, and if I take a look on my view, I can see this macro call was replaced by the macro text. And instead of $1, we have here this T1 start date. This such macros is very powerful, very easy and powerful mechanism to define some standard transformation bricks, which you can use everywhere. And this is a central place for such transformation bricks. Every time I can change, for example, this macro, and everywhere a macro was used, every transformation will be changed every time when I change the macro itself. Okay, well, we have here some transformations. Some AnalyticsCreator support different kind of transformations, not only views. You can see here, for example, we support script transformation. It can be storage procedures and SQL scripts. It can be external, means, for example, you can create your own integration service packages or even Excel files which transform your data, and you can use such transformations in AnalyticsCreator too. But usual transformation in AnalyticsCreator, this is the view. View is a logical transformation. It doesn't store the data, but sometimes it's necessary to materialize views, and we can do it using persisting mechanism. I can persist the transformation or this view. Let me do it. Okay. Sometimes I should click on synchronize the WH. When I click on synchronize the WH, the model which I have here, which I created, will be materialized, and the new data warehouse, the developer version of my data warehouse, will be stored on my SQL server. And well, now you can see that this transformation employee department history will be materialized here in this table. This table will contain the data from this employee department history view or transformation, and this persisting will be done using this persisting mechanism. And here you can see how do we persist the data. We support different kind of persisting. Full persisting means all data from the table will be deleted, and the table will be every time filled up by the data from the view. We support different kind of merge persisting, that the data, not all the data will be deleted from your table, but only differences will be detected, and persisting table will be changed. And to perform the persisting, AnalyticsCreator generates storage procedures, and such storage procedures, you can see them here. You can even modify the storage procedures which we generate for persisting. You can additionally start different scripts before and after persisting and so on. But sometimes persisting is very suitable, very powerful to speed up access to your data from the data mart layer. And for example, we can add more persistings. One more. Let's persist every effect transformation in our data warehouse. Add persisting. Finish. Well, and then on the right side, you can see your data mart layer. Data mart layer, this is the interface layer of your data warehouse. Usually, your front-end tools and users, they have access only to the data mart layer. Data mart layer usually contains only facts and dimensions. And let me isolate this employee department history. I can set the filter, and then I will see only the object related to this employee department history fact transformation. I can see this is a fact, and I have 6 different dimensions. Every object in the data mart layer is nothing more than the view. I can take a look on this view. This is just select all fields from the table in the data warehouse in the core layer, and the same is for every object in this data mart layer. But additionally, I can define here in the data mart layer different properties for the OLAP cubes. When we, for example, AnalyticsCreator can generate not only the data warehouses, the relational data warehouses, but, for example, tabular and multidimensional OLAP cubes. And here we can define different attributes for the generated OLAP cubes, because in the OLAP cubes, we will use only the objects from our data mart layer. Our data mart layer will be later, when we generate, for example, tabular OLAP cube, will be used in the OLAP cube. And the relations between the relations between the objects will be used in the OLAP cube, and so on. And special for the generated OLAP cubes, we can modify or add some additional properties. For example, if I click here on T square icon, I can, for example, define here. Let me define some. Let me define, for example, some measures. For example, let me define some, for example, distinct count of departments, distinct count of OS, distinct count of shifts. Okay, save. Sure, you can define the measure names by yourself, but it is very important, for example, for Power BI OLAP cubes or for tabular OLAP cubes, that every measure name is unique, remains unique, and across your data warehouse. And using AnalyticsCreator, you can use the templates to generate, for example, measure names. Such templates like aggregation name, column name, table name, and here in the parsed measure name column, you can see the resulting name of the measures of the measure which we create. But of course, sure, you can create the measures by yourself. And I created here 3 measures for department, employee, and shift columns, like distinct count measure. Let me add one more measure, for example, using the specific tabular statement. For example, distinct, so one, row number, and then the name of the name, and it will be okay for those. I just created one more measure using the function, sorry, not row number, the wrong one, row count, of course. This enables this DAX function for my OLAP cube. Okay, we created our model, and very important is, it's very important is the synchronized data warehouse functionality. What will be done when we synchronize data warehouse? The new data warehouse will be created on my SQL server. This is a data warehouse, in our case, demo DWH. Demo DWH is the name of our DWH, is the name of our repository, and this database, which will be created during synchronization, contains the structure of this model which we generate. And for example, let me do something wrong here. For example, this is my fact transformation, and I will add one additional field containing wrong data. Sorry, column name. Test. I just added the test column containing something wrong, containing the wrong statement. I can store it, but when I will try to synchronize my data warehouse, all errors in the data warehouse will be detected during synchronization, and I can see invalid column name in the transformation employee department history. I can see that transformation employee department history has a red border, and well, this is a wrong field. I will remove it, and now after the synchronization, our data warehouse, the synchronization was finished without any error. Well, now this is the data warehouse itself. To generate data warehouse, I should generate deployment package. Deployment package, this is a Visual Studio solution. Now I will generate the new deployment package. Deployment one, for example, and this deployment package, this is a result of what an AnalyticsCreator do after all. Deployment package, this is a Visual Studio solution which you can deploy and create your data warehouse. This solution usually contains for example, DECPAC file. DECPAC file, this is a definition of our data warehouse of our database, relational database generated by AnalyticsCreator. Here we will not only create DECPAC file, but we will deploy it. I will deploy it into the database called demo DWH on my server. It is not necessary to deploy directly from AnalyticsCreator, but you can do it. Usually you do it you deploy your, for example, test version of your data warehouse. To deploy the productive model, usually you should do it not from AnalyticsCreator, but manually. But you can deploy from AnalyticsCreator too. Okay, what we will deploy? We will create and deploy DECPAC files. Then we will generate integration service packages. AnalyticsCreator can generate integration service packages, and we can generate Azure Data Factory pipelines, Azure Data Factory pipelines, which you can deploy to Azure Data Factory instead of using instead to use integration service packages. Okay, we can generate multi-dimensional OLAP cubes and tabular OLAP cubes. I will generate tabular OLAP cube. We will generate XML script containing the OLAP cube definition, and let me deploy my OLAP cube directly from AnalyticsCreator for tabular, I think it's the name. Okay, name of my data warehouse will be demo DWH. I need the login. Wait a moment. Let me check my login. I've got it. Wait. Okay, usually. Well, to 19, we can select between the different compatibility levels for all of cubes, for integration service packages, for databases. Okay, you can create partitions, perspectives. In our case, not necessary. Create cube during deployment. This is important. And well, I think. And okay, we will deploy into the SSS configuration, set environment variable, save, and deploy. Now AnalyticsCreator creates for us a deployment package. And as I said, this deployment package, this is the result of the main result of our project, because the project itself, and this is only the model. And after the model is created, you can deploy it into the different environments. You can deploy it on premise. You can deploy it. Wait a moment. Sorry, I should change the. I have only tabular OLAP cube version 2017, and I tried to use 2019 to deploy, and it was wrong. Let me deploy the old version. Sorry. Okay, and as I said, we can deploy into the different environments. You can deploy on premise, you can deploy on cloud. For example, you can deploy the same deployment package to Azure, for example. You can deploy on premise, or you can create different mix environments. For example, your data warehouse will be located on premise, but your Power BI model will be located in the cloud. And this deployment package will allow you to create the different deployment environments. And but the model remains unchanged. And this is very important. Your model is independent of the environments where you will deploy. Okay, our DECPAC file was created and deployed. Our tabular OLAP model was created and deployed too. Now the integration service packages will be generated. Okay, and we are done. Important is the generation of deployment package will be done on our server in the cloud. AnalyticsCreator is the client server software, and all generations will be done on our server. That means, for example, to generate integration service packages or to generate, I don't know, the different packages for SIP, usually you need the licenses. You need, for example, the license for SQL Server Standard, or you need the license for Tailbyte connector. In our case, you don't need such licenses because the generation of all packages will be done on our cloud server. We have the licenses, we can generate the packages for you, and the packages you can but of course, when you will use the packages, you need the licenses. But to generate packages, to generate deployment packages, you don't need any license except, of course, the AnalyticsCreator license. Okay, let me show you how the deployment package looks like, which we just generated. I will start Visual Studio and open our deployment package. Okay, I can simultaneously show you the directory containing the deployment package. Okay, every time when new deployment will be created. The new directory here will be added. This is a directory containing our deployment package. And let me open project. Okay, this is the typical SQL Server data tool solution which we generate, and the Microsoft BI developer know what is it. First, we can see here integration service packages generated by AnalyticsCreator. Let me open, and usually, together with all other packages, the workflow package will be generated. Workflow package data can be used to execute your ETL process. Only workflow package should be started to execute the ETL process. We can see in this workflow package, all other packages will be executed in correct order. First, the import package, then historizing package, then the persisting package. You can see this is the import package. To import the data from our AdventureWorks database, you can see there are different containers, one container for every imported table, and it's nothing specific. First, some logging, also then we truncate the data from our import table. Then this is data flow to import the data from department table into the department table on the data warehouse, then update statistic and logging. As I said, our integration service packages, which we generate, they are pretty simple. And they can be maintained manually later after, for example, your project is done. And of course, you can continue to use AnalyticsCreator, but usually the solution which we generate can be maintained manually without any troubles. Then Historization package, this is more simple. In this package, we only start historization storage procedures. There are 6 historizations and 6 storage procedures here will be executed. And persisting package, here are 3 persisting storage procedures which will be executed in this persisting package. It is not necessary to generate integration service packages in case you use Azure, and we can generate instead Azure pipelines, or of course you can use the generate integration service packages with your Azure pipeline data factory tool. Okay, and let's take a look on the model on the OLAP cube which we generated. I will start our desktop and we'll connect it to our tabular OLAP model, which we just generated. And you can see the model. Okay. During the Power BI is opening, maybe you have some questions. Okay, then let's continue. I don't know why, but Power BI desktop takes time. Okay, come on. Okay, it's here.
Music licensing reimagined.
Well, as I said, we can generate the poor cloud solutions, and we can generate, for example, the tabular OLAP cubes for Power BI Premium. We can generate the Power BI Premium models, and instead to use, for example, tabular OLAP cubes, you can use only Power BI in cloud, and we can generate the Power BI cloud models too. But in our case, we use on-premise environment. I will connect to our OLAP server. This is tabular, and the name of the data warehouse which we generate each. Well, and here you can see it's a model which we generate, free fact transformation, okay, department history, fact employer, pay history, and job candidate, the different common dimensions, and so on. This is a model generated by AnalyticsCreator. Well, okay, then I think I'm done with my presentation. If you have questions, please ask me. But you saw we generated the new data warehouse and deployed it in only 1 hour, and it is okay. You can do it too, of course, if you will use AnalyticsCreator. Peter, you can continue.
I'm here. Thank you, Dimitri, for this nice presentation. I think when some of the people here in our audience will choose the trial version for AnalyticsCreator and use this video, they can do a lot of things by themselves. So this is the option you have. Just send us an email if you're interested for a trial version. We will send you a download link and your login credentials, and then you have 30 days for to try AnalyticsCreator. You will get access to AnalyticsCreator Wiki. There are a lot of examples in there, many videos. Also, there are videos in YouTube, so you will be able to grow up a data warehouse really very fast. You have the full functionality. Nothing is locked, so you can do everything. You can generate a data warehouse for SAP. All SAP connectors are there. So try it out, and if you need some more time, and then the 30 days is not enough, you can ask us. We will get some more days. It's no problem. So are there some questions around? So you can speak now, and no problem, and you can ask Dimitri for technical questions and other questions to me. No? That's good. Then you understood everything. That's very fine. No, it's not that so easy, of course. So there are many things to understand, and yeah. But I think maybe you have got a nice impression of AnalyticsCreator, what you can do with it, and yeah, so you can try it out, no problem. Yeah, just ask again if there are maybe a question around. No questions. Okay, then I think we are done. Thanks a lot, and we have next week a next session on the 8th of July. There is also interesting Azure session. It's yeah, a little bit more detailed what we have seen today. Please join us also next week. It's also a live session, and I think then we have 3 weeks nothing. Biljana, when we have the next session in July, I think there is nothing anymore, right?
Hello. So for now, we're planning some new events, but we will announce it shortly. And I think that we will have the first session or event at the end of July. So just please keep watching our social media, and we will inform you accordingly. Thank you.
Yes, and I want to introduce also our main event, annual AnalyticsCreator Congress in November. It's in the beginning of November. It's already live for booking on our event page in Eventbrite. So last year we had, I think, many attendees, and yeah, I hope you join us also there. Yes, so we are now at the end. Thanks a lot for joining us, and see you soon. If you have some more questions later on, we will answer it too. Just send us an email. No problem. Yeah, have a nice day, and see you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.